Hello everybody, Tall Paul here with Left-Handed Knife Reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the Knives Spiro. Let's get right into it. First up, we're going to have our facts and figures. This is going to be a 3.2 inch blade in S35VN running on a set of bearings. These scales are made out of G10 and are affixed to stainless steel liners, and the handle measures in right at 4.2 inches. At the time of this review, this knife sells for $75 on the Knives website. I'm going to put some knives on the table as the actual dimensions of the knife will appear on the screen. First up, we have our unsharpened Dixon Ticonderoga pencil. We're going to follow that up with another option in S35VN around the same price, the Civivi Pintail. We will also add the Spyderco Paramilitary 3 Lightweight and finish that off with the Civivi Elementum. Next up, we'll talk about Larry and my experience while using the knife. The Spiro is a nice knife to use. The scales have texture which gives us good grip. The size of the handle gave us plenty of room to hold the knife comfortably multiple ways. This knife also has good consistent lockup and deploys really well with the thumb stud. Overall, this knife was pleasant to carry for review. Let's talk about what the Spiro succeeded at. This knife comes with a well-ground S35VN drop point blade. S35VN at this point is very good. This knife is also ergonomically very solid. The scales themselves are contoured well, and the thickness of the handle really sits at a sweet spot. The length of the handle is long enough even for our larger hands, and the pocket clip is mostly flat, so it doesn't give off any hot spots. With that, the pocket clip is a kind of deep carry light pocket clip. You are going to have a little bit of the knife sticking up, but combine this with a smaller profile really makes this knife slide in and out of the pocket really well, making this a great carry knife. With that, the pocket clip is a deep carry light pocket clip. It does submerge most of the knife in the pocket. This combined with the smaller profile helps this knife slide in and out of the pocket and makes it carry really well. Let's move on to where the Spiro struggled for us. This knife really only struggled in one area. That was with the lock and detent. The lock and detent on this knife are a little bit stronger than I preferred. The lockup is 100% or a little bit more, so the liner does have a good amount of distance to travel, and the detent ball sits very deep in the blade. To open and close repetitively can be a little bit of an annoyance. This was compounded by trying to manipulate the lock left-handed, but if you're only opening the knife once to do a task and then closing it right away and it goes back in the pocket, this is most likely going to be negligible. Next up, we have our points of note. Points of note are neutral things that we want to mention, but fall in that gray area between successes and struggles. Like I said before, pocket clip is a deep carry light pocket clip. It will leave a little bit of the knife out of the pocket. There is no lanyard, bracket, or hole on this knife. This knife was also very aesthetically pleasing. This natural G10 back spacer is a nice touch, and the black on stonewash, on stonewash, on stonewash is really nice. There is also no sharpening choil on this blade, and it came screaming sharp right out of the box. Now for everything that's left. The part of the knife review, we talk about everything left-handed. First and foremost, when ordering this knife, there is a nice touch to the ordering process. You have the option of choosing whether or not this is going to be set up for left or right-handed carry when ordering. For most of us, that's not a huge deal because we have a full set of Torx bits because we take apart knives on a daily basis and it's no big deal for us. But for somebody who might not have a Torx bit at home for whatever reason, this gives them the ability to have this set up for the carry they want right out of the box. And that is something that I do have to applaud Asher Knives for. So you do have your reversible pocket clip. This is a thumb stud deploy knife. The cutout for a right-handed individual is just a hair bigger than that for a left-handed individual. That also might be an optical illusion just because you do have a little bit of the liner here poking out, making it look to appear that the thumb stud is a little bit more cramped when it actually isn't. Both of the scales on either side are contoured that go down to the thumb stud, and the knife does pop open for either a left or a right-handed individual. I did notice that I had a little bit of an easier time opening it with my right hand, but it never really failed to deploy with my left. Next up, we have the liner lock. Normal liner lock problems. Putting your thumb in the path of the blade to close the knife. As I said before in struggles, this is a little bit more of a stiff liner lock, so getting it over is a little bit more difficult, and the liner lock is perfectly smooth. So it is a fairly smooth surface, and it is a little bit more difficult to keep purchase on it while manipulating it over. I did not injure myself on this knife, but that was something that I did notice. But overall, the Asher Spiro is a convenient knife to use for both left or right-handed individuals. All right, let's talk about our final thoughts and recommendations. We recommend this knife for people who are looking for an EDC knife that packs a good punch for its price. For $75, you're getting an S35VN blade with really good ergos, some nice contoured scales, and some really nice touches. This knife functions well for both left and right-handed individuals, and you have the option of having the carry set to either left or right-handed upon delivery. At this price, $75, your money will not be wasted if you choose to purchase this knife. Thank you very much for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe for more great knife content. We'll see you next time.